Go for a switch onto Barbarical. Pheromosa now with a Dynamax. Driftblim with a Destiny Bond. And a Max Hailstorm! What? How does Pheromosa have an Ice-type move there? Okay, so before we start off this video, I have an announcement. So I started this channel a little over a year ago, and I think it's about time to expand it. I'm planning to have a new music channel pretty soon, so that way I have a place to upload all of my tracks and maybe some tutorials and sets as well. I'm also considering adding a third channel and making this one exclusively for gaming. I haven't made my final decision on that, but once I do, I'll let you know. So with that being said, thank you guys for clicking on this video to watch it. And now it is time for a potentially seamless transition in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't know how seamless that transition is, but we're gonna roll with it. So there was a previous episode of Pokémon Showdown that has gotten a bit of recognition. Surprisingly, it was the free-for-all episode. And because of that, I've decided to do another. Now, if you don't know what a free-for-all battle is, basically it's a 4-player battle with all 4 players going up against each other. It takes a bit longer than other battles, but it's a lot of fun. And we're gonna get right into the first battle here, and I guess hope for the best. I don't really know what to expect. We've got Poltegeist, Sylveon, Necrozma, and Azelf. Okay, starting off strong here, I'm gonna go with a Heat Wave to go against everyone. Azelf with a nasty plot. Heat Wave does a decent amount. There's a Curse Body to disable the Heat Wave. Poltegeist has a White Herb, right? Yep. Why else would you use a Shell Smash there? Everyone else is charging up except me. I feel like I should be concerned about that. I'm gonna go for a Photon Geyser, and I'll go against Sylveon. Azelf with a Protect. Shadow Ball is blocked by Azelf. Photon Geyser does a decent amount against Sylveon, who charges up with another Calm Mind. I'm going to go for a Calm Mind as well. They go for a switch on to Porygon 2, as Shadow Ball is immune, and that is a big read there. And Hyper Voice, meanwhile, puts Poltegeist down to the yellow. And now that I'm charged up, I'm going to go for a Photon Geyser against Porygon 2. Poltegeist with a Protect. Porygon 2 with a Protect. Photon Geyser is blocked. And Sylveon goes for a Psyshock, which is blocked as well. Now I'm going to go for a Heat Wave here. Slow and steady, basically does nothing in a battle like this. Giga Drain does a decent amount against Porygon 2. Heat Wave does a bit there. A Burn against Poltegeist. Tri-Attack. Decent amount against Necrozma. And Porygon 2 will be the first one eliminated. Leafeon is up next. I don't know if I like that call. Because of that Heat Wave, goes for a Protected Shadow Ball. Takes down Necrozma. Mystical Fire is blocked as well. Also, my team is stacked. We'll go for Melodic up next. I still don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Now that I think about it, this probably wasn't the best idea. Hey, I'm just saving all of my better Pokemon for later. Leaf Blade is a critical hit against Sylveon. And Muddy Water, as expected, doesn't do a lot. So up next is Luxray. And you know what? This is going to be my cue to switch out. I'm going to go for Kartana. And Heliolisk on a switch as well. Luxray with a Protect. Giga Drain. How was it resisted and still did that much? Probably because of the 2-time special attack, but I'm kind of worried about that. Gonna go for a Leaf Blade against Luxray, as Poltegeist goes for a Protect, a Glare to paralyze Kartana, and Superpower is super effective against Heliolisk. That is a massive KO there. Kartana paralyzed as well. Leafeon heading back out. We're gonna go for a Sacred Sword, and we'll go once again against Luxray. And Luxray goes for a Protect here. Shadow Ball to go against Kartana, and that will take Kartana down. A Swords Dance by Leafeon. I'm gonna go for Celebi. And I'm gonna go for an Energy Ball against Poltegeist. They go for a switch onto Jirachi as Poltegeist goes for a Protect, and so does Leafeon. So what I'm gonna do here is go for an Earth Power against Jirachi this time. And Jirachi goes for a Protect, Shadow Ball goes against Celebi, and it's a one-hit KO. Knockoff is blocked as well. That puts me in a bit of trouble, but now that Luxray is out, I'm going to go for Zapdos here. And I'm going to go for a Throat Chop against Jirachi. And they switch back onto Luxray at the perfect time. It increases Zapdos' attack, though. Shadow Ball and a knockoff to take Luxray down. Jirachi or not, he was absolutely screwed there. Barbaracle is up next in this one. And you know what? We'll go for a Throat Chop again, just because I kind of have to. Just because Choice Band. So Leafeon goes for a Protect, and so does Barbaracle. Giga Drain is blocked, and Throat Chop is blocked. I'm gonna go back to Melodic here. There's the switch, and a double switch onto Jirachi as Giga Drain well resisted and well read. And Leaf Blade is super effective against Melodic. I really should not have done that. Nalgus still has all 6 Pokemon. I'm gonna go for a Brave Bird against Poltegeist here. So Poltegeist with a Protect here, Leafeon with a Protect as well. Fire Punch is blocked, and Brave Bird is blocked. I'll go for a Brave Bird again. They go for a switch. Another Galarian Zapdos here. Shadow Ball almost takes my Zapdos out here, as Brave Bird will take down Poltegeist. Recoil doesn't do anything against Zapdos there. Drift Blim is going to be up next. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go for another Brave Bird here. Jirachi with a Protect. Throat Chop, super effective against Drift Blim. Recovers onto the green. Goes for a Destiny Bond there as Brave Bird takes down Zapdos. It takes down both of the Zapdos, and I'm down to my last Pokemon here. Rayquaza will be the last one out. Heading out for Todd is going to be Leafeon again. I'm going to Dynamax and go for a Max Airstream against Leafeon. Jirachi fails on the Protect. Drift Blim with a Tailwind. Knockoff super effective against Jirachi. Knocks away the Citrus Berry as the Max Airstream takes down Leafeon. Trying to put Todd in as much trouble as I am. Pheromosa's not going to make this any better. We'll go for another Max Airstream. Go for a switch onto Barbaracle. Pheromosa now with a Dynamax. Drift Blim with a Destiny Bond. And a Max Hailstorm! What?! How does Pheromosa have an Ice-type move there?
Pheromosa's not gonna make this any better.
Well, I guess I am gonna be the first one out. Todd was not having any of that against me. Barbaracle with a Protect. Thunder Wave will paralyze Pheromosa. That's a good call, but not good enough. Max Hailstorm takes down Drift Blim. Dracozolt is heading out. Most likely gonna go against Barbaracle here. That's my prediction anyway. And they go for a switch onto Urshifu as Aerial Ace will take down Pheromosa. Up next is Azelf. Last one heading out for Todd. And they go for a switch onto Kingdra. There's been a lot of switches in this game. And there's another switch onto Jirachi. Kingdra goes for a Rain Dance here. What is Kingdra going to make of this? A Protect by Jirachi. Muddy Water does a pretty good amount against Azelf there. Recovers back onto the green. And Psychic takes down Kingdra on this one. Corviknight is up next. And Shadow Ball will take down Jirachi here. Corviknight goes for a bulk up. Now the action is really starting to get somewhere. Next one heading out, it is going to be Barbaracle again. Corviknight with a Dynamax. Barbaracle with a Protect. Azelf charging up with a nasty plot. That's not going to do anything. Max Airstream will wrap it up for Todd. It is between Nalgus and Gavora. Both players with 3 Pokemon here. So this is going to be interesting. Barbaracle now with the Dynamax as Max Knuckle doesn't really do a whole lot against Barbaracle. Max Geyser in response does about the same amount. Max Knuckle again, and that does a bit more against Barbaracle. Max Rockfall in response still doesn't do a whole lot against Corviknight, but Corviknight is out of the Dynamax now. Body Press almost takes down Barbaracle. Max Geyser puts Corviknight down to the yellow, recovers onto the green. And Barbaracle now out of the Dynamax. Body Press will take down Barbaracle here. So up next for Gavora. Are they going to reveal the last Pokemon? Or... nope, they're not. They're going to go on to Urshifu. I don't know if that's the right call. Isn't Urshifu a fighting type? Yeah, fighting in water. And Corviknight is a flying type that could easily take advantage of that. And there it is, the Brave Bird to take Urshifu down. And the last Pokemon heading out is going to be Lycanroc. Going for a Protect here. Stopping the Body Press. Goes for a Rock Slide in response. That will be enough to take down Corviknight. Groudon is up next. And that, I think, is going to be curtains for Lycanroc. Lycanroc with a Protect there. Delaying the potential inevitable. Misses on the Drill Run, and Precipice Blades will wrap it up. What a closer. Overall, that was not a good performance from me, though. Alright, we've got Solgaleo, Weezing, Mawile, and Haxorus in this one. And we're going to go for Psychic Fangs against Weezing. Close Combat goes first against Mawile. It's a bit of a risky play considering it does lower some of your stats as Psychic Fangs puts Weezing down to the yellow and recovers onto the green. Fire Blast in response does a pretty good amount against Solgaleo as Mawile charges up. Gonna go for Psychic Fangs against Haxorus this time. And Haxorus goes for a Protect, so does Mawile. Psychic Fangs is blocked. Will-O-Wisp is not, as it burns Solgaleo. Recovers onto the green with that one. I'm gonna go for... oh wow, that Will-O-Wisp is actually a good call because all of my moves are physical. So I'm just gonna Protect. Meanwhile, Close Combat goes again against Mawile. That will be the first KO of the game. And Weezing wanted to go for a Will-O-Wisp again, I think this time against Mawile. So up next is Swoobat. And I'm going to go for Psychic Fangs against Weezing. A Protect by Haxorus, Calm Mind from Swoobat. Psychic Fangs puts Weezing down to the yellow. Fire Blast in response, Solgaleo down to the red. So I'm going to go Psychic Fangs again. I don't think it'll take Weezing out, but I don't have a lot of other options. So they go for a switch onto Dedenne, conceding a Psychic early on, recovers onto the green though. Psychic Fangs, Weezing deep in the red there. A Paint Split against Swoobat, that is a big call. Weezing recovers very high into the yellow now as Swoobat goes down into the yellow from out of nowhere. Now I'm going to try a Sunsteel Strike against Dedenne. Never mind, Psychic goes first and Dedenne is out. Will-O-Wisp fails. I think everyone was trying to gang up against Dedenne there. So up next for me, it is going to be Mantine. So who's going to be up next for a little fruitcake? And it is Grandpa heading out as well. Got a decent moveset here. I'm going to go for a Scald against Swoobat. Protect by Grandpa. Psychic will take down Reason here. As Scald, will it be enough? It will be enough to take down Swoobat. So everyone's got 5 Pokemon except for Ode. So up next is Aromatisse and Mawile. Gonna go for Hurricane against Grandpa this time. And Hurricane does a decent amount there. Swords Dance to charge up. Hyper Voice does a decent amount. And Thunderbolt to go against Mantine. Recovers a little bit. That Thunderbolt came out of nowhere. We're gonna go for a Scald against Aromatisse as Grandpa gets a Protect. So does Aromatisse. Scald is blocked. Iron Head is also blocked. I'm going to go for a Hurricane against Aromatisse this time as Mawile now goes for a Protect. And Hurricane misses. Heat Wave goes through. Doesn't do a whole lot. Does cause a burn against Mantine though. And Moonblast will take down Grandpa. So up next is Noctowl. And I'm going to go for a Scald against Mawile. Scald goes through and does a pretty good amount against Mawile. Able to recover, but now down into the red as Iron Head will take down Aromatisse. So Zygarde is up next. I'm going to go for a Scald again against Mawile. I think Mawile could go for a Protect. That doesn't work. Mawile unable to go through as Scald will take her down. Hyper Voice doesn't really do a whole lot either. Snorlax is up next, and I'm going to go for a Hurricane against... It could really go against anyone and work here. I'm going to go against Snorlax. And Hurricane does a decent amount against Snorlax. Tailwind does a... That's an interesting call, and so is the Curse here. Snorlax already has a low speed, but looking to increase attack and defense with this one. I'm going to go for a Scald as 1,000 Arrows will take down Mantine. Air Slash will go against Zygarde there. And another Curse. That might be something we have to watch out for. And you know what? I'm going to go for Regirock. And I'm going to go Body Press. No, I won't. I'll go for a Rock Slide to go against everyone. I think this could take down Noctowl here. 1,000 arrows to go through. A super effective critical hit on Regirock as Noctowl recovers onto the green. Zygarde and Snorlax now down to the yellow as they both recover onto the green. And Rock Slide puts Noctowl down to the yellow. And Snorlax goes for a Curse again. You know what? I'm going to go for a Curse as well. Snorlax has to attack eventually. 1,000 arrows goes through. Noctowl is eliminated here. And the Curse from Regirock. And the high horsepower will take down Zygarde. So up next we've got Scrafty and Haxorus heads back out. And I'm going to go for a Body Press against Scrafty. And Scrafty going for the Dynamax here. Haxorus with a Protect. And Max Knuckle doesn't do a whole lot against Snorlax. Down to the yellow from that. And speaking of down to the yellow, Scrafty able to recover after the Body Press. And Regirock is out from the high horsepower. So up next, it's going to be Mr. Mime. And I'm going to go for a Freeze Dry. I want to go against Haxorus, but at the same time, Freeze Dry is a special attack, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll go against Snorlax here. And Freeze Dry... Was it a special attack? Close Combat takes down Snorlax. Meanwhile, Scrafty fails on the Max Knuckle. That was also intended for Snorlax. And up next is Golurk. I'm going to charge up with a nasty plot here. And that was a good call. Haxorus and Golurk both go for a Protect. As Scrafty goes for a Max Knuckle, it's a critical hit as well. But that is that for Scrafty's Dynamax. And I'm going to go for a Freeze Dry. And I'm going to go against Haxorus here. And they go for a switch onto Kingler, but that doesn't really help. Freeze Dry will take down Kingler in this one, as Earthquake doesn't do enough against Mr. Mime, but deep in the red as Haxorus heads back out. And now I'm going to go for a Freeze Dry against Golurk here. Haxorus with a Protect, Golurk with a Protect. Freeze Dry is blocked, and so is Knockoff. I'll go for a Freeze Dry again. And Freeze Dry goes first. Golurk down to 4, recovers onto the yellow, and Dragon Claw takes down Mr. Mime. Meanwhile, Scrafty goes for a Drain Punch. Haxorus deep in the red. Scrafty recovers onto the green. So I've got 2 Pokemon remaining. I'm going to go for Quillfish. And I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go for Toxic Spikes. Golurk going for a Protect. Close Combat will take down Scrafty. Eventually, Haxorus gets taken down as well. Poltegeist and Zamazenta both heading out. And I'll go for Toxic Spikes again. Zamazenta with a Howl. Toxic Spikes goes through. Shell Smash. There is another White Herb Poltegeist right there. As Earthquake does a decent amount against all 3. Now I'm going to go for Liquidation against Golurk, who is probably going to Protect here. And a Dynamax by Poltegeist, going for a Max Phantasm, takes down Zamazenta. A big play there. Liquidation takes down Golurk. And we are down to 3, and Nidoqueen is up next. And I'm going to go for another Liquidation. And they go for a switch onto Wobbuffet as Max Mindstorm takes down Quillfish. Executor is going to be the last Pokemon heading out. Now I'm going to Dynamax and go for a Max Wormwind against Wobbuffet. Max Mindstorm goes again against Executor, recovers onto the green. Max Wormwind does a decent amount. And Mirror Coat, I probably should have seen that coming. Executor's eliminated. And now we are down to 2. Shadow Ball, super effective against Wobbuffet. It is Poltegeist against Nidoqueen. So how is this going to end? Nidoqueen on the Dynamax. That should be that. Stored power. Nidoqueen down to 2%. Max Quake takes down Poltegeist. What an ending! 2% was all that was needed in the end. What a game that was. Alright, so we've got Haxorus, Alakazam, Tornadus, and Cursola here. By the way, I like that username. Hungry Hypno. We're going to go for a Poison Jab against Tornadus to start things off as Alakazam goes for a Protect. A Taunt blocked by Alakazam. Poison Jab does a lot, and the Poison as well against Tornadus. And Shadow Ball is blocked. Now I'm going to charge up a little bit and go for a Dragon Dance. As they go for a switch onto Dragalge there. Heat Wave doesn't do a whole lot. Dragon Dance underway, and Ice Beam takes down Tornadus, first KO of the game. Aggron is up next. I'm going to go for a Dragon Claw against Dragalge. She goes for a Protect. So that is blocked. Head Smash goes against Haxorus deep in the red, and the Ice Beam as well. Of course they double team against me. Up next, I'm going to go for Linoon. And I'm going to go for a Throat Chop against Cursola. And Throat Chop, super effective. Lowers defense as well. Increases speed, though. And Earth Power is a one-hit KO against Aggron. And Focus Blast, also intended for Aggron. So up next for Drake, it is going to be Alakazam. I'm going to go for Extreme Speed against Dragalge. She goes for a Protect. And a Nasty Plot by Alakazam. And Ice Beam is blocked as well. And you know what? I'm going to go for a Protect now. I wonder what everyone else is going to do in this one. Go for a switch onto Calyrex. As Linoon gets the Protect, Shadow Ball takes down Cursula. So Decidueye is up next. And I'm going to go Throat Chop against Calyrex. Linoon's actually doing pretty well so far, and a Shadow Sneak takes down Alakazam. And Throat Chop doesn't do a whole lot against Calyrex. Glacial Lance in response. Decidueye down to the yellow. And Mawile is up next. Extreme Speed against Calyrex in this one. Goes first and doesn't do a whole lot. Shadow Sneak does a bit more. Calyrex recovers onto the green. And Mawile with a Swords Dance and a Glacial Lance again. And Decidueye is out. So who's going to be up next? It is Bronzong. I'm going to go for a Protect on this one. And Mawile with a Protect as well. Glacial Lance. How much is that going to do? Not a lot against Bronzong, who goes for a Trick Room. Interesting call. Going to go for a Throat Chop against Calyrex on this one, who goes for a switch onto Lantern. Linoon able to recover. Iron Head doesn't do a whole lot. Iron Head from Bronzong and Mawile on this one. Lantern still in the green. Gonna go for Extreme Speed. Lantern goes for a Protect. Well blocked against Linoon as Bronzong goes for an Explosion. Linoon down to the yellow. Mawile charging up with the Swords Dance. Gotta be careful of that. So up next is Mandibuzz. I'm gonna go for a Throat Chop against Mawile this time. Before Mawile does anything mental. Goes for a Protect, blocks the Scald, and Taunt goes against Lantern here, and Throat Chop blocked as well, but I'm going to go for it once again. And Iron Head will take down Linoon here. Scald does not pan out, and there's a Tailwind by Mandibuzz. So up next for me, I don't really have any good options. I'll go for Cursula. And I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump against Mawile. Foul Play does a whole lot against Cursula. Thunderbolt does a good amount there. A critical hit is against Mandibuzz as Play Rough takes Cursula down. A Perish Count against Mandibuzz and Mawile, and a quick exit for Cursula as Mienshao now heads out. And we're going to go for... I'll play it safe on this one. I'll go for a Protect. Hungry Hypno still has all 6 Pokemon. They go for a switch onto Raichu. Mienshao with a Protect. Scald does a pretty good amount against Mawile. And Play Rough is well blocked. I'm going to go now for a Poison Jab against Lantern, who goes for a Protect. Nasty Plot by Raichu. Poison Jab is blocked. Play Rough goes against Mienshao, and it's a one-hit KO. Now I'm going to go on to Raichu here. And I'm going to go for a Psyshock against Lantern. And a Dynamax by Drago's Raichu. Psyshock does a solid amount. Lantern recovers onto the green. Max Lightning to go against Mawile. That's a KO. As Lantern fails on the Skull, that was also intended for Mawile. Zygarde is heading out. We're going to go for a Nasty Plot to try and charge up here. And Lantern with a Protect. Raichu with a Nasty Plot. Max Knuckle to go against Zygarde. That does a whole lot. In return, Zygarde goes for 1,000 arrows. There's a pretty solid amount against Raichu. You're probably wondering, which Raichu are you talking about, Iceberg? We're going to go for another Psyshock. And we're going to go against Lantern again, as the Max Knuckle will take down Zygarde this time. They're not paying enough attention to Lantern. That's a KO. Drake going for a forfeit, so we're now down to 3. And I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt against Alakazam here. And Thunderbolt is a one-hit KO against Alakazam. Garchomp is up next. And I'm going to go for a Focus Blast this time. And Focus Blast from the other Raichu as well. We are really having the same idea. Garchomp is eliminated. We're trying to put the Hungry Hypno down to our level, and he decides to forfeit. So it's now Raichu against Raichu here. And Psyshock resisted, but does enough. And the other Raichu is out. And up next is Alchemy. I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt against Alchemy on this one. And what is Alchemy going to do? Able to recover. Raichu losing a bit of HP. Dazzling Gleam, a critical hit. And Raichu is out. And my last Pokemon is going to be Slowbro. And I'm going to go for a Max Mindstorm against Alchemy on this one. Alchemy with a recover there. So Alchemy's going to stall this one out, isn't she? Going to go for a Max Geyser as Alchemy recovers again, trying to waste the Dynamax. Going to go for a Max Mindstorm now as Alchemy recovers yet again onto full. Max Mindstorm puts Alchemy down to the yellow. There goes the Dynamax. Did Alchemy use her Dynamax yet? Decides to recover again. Psychic doesn't do a whole lot. I'm going to try a Fire Blast here. As Dazzling Gleam does a decent amount, Fire Blast does almost nothing there. And I think I know why. It's because of the rain, isn't it? And Alchemy able to recover again as Scald does a pretty solid amount. If we could cause the burn, that could be ideal here. Dazzling Gleam, Slowbro down to the yellow, recovers onto the green as Scald puts Alchemy down to the yellow. Probably going to recover again on this one. Goes for a Dazzling Gleam again. And Scald, Alchemy down to 2. Doesn't get the burn either. And lands the Dazzling Gleam to wrap it up. So a clutch play by Alchemy to close out this episode. I haven't won a single one of these free-for-alls, but you know what? I've been recording for about an hour. I think it's about time I close it out here. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.